sexy people? It is Dave. It is Duncan, back from Metal Epidemic for another album review. And I've just realised I'm going to put my light on.
So how unprofessional are you?
Do I need it?
You know
Actually,
what? You know what I'm thinking to myself here
That's
is
kind of bright.
there is something kind of lo-fi about this that fits the aesthetic of what we're going to be talking about. Rustic, off the grid. Let's get some grain in there. Can we have like cigarette burns in the corner? You know what I mean? Let's go old school, man. Digging
I
it.
don't need it. The Scottish sunlight is shining in, actually. Maybe I don't need it.
Yes, and one of only 3 days this year, the Scottish sunlight has made an appearance.
Welcome back. We're back to chat about the brand new album from the UK crossover kings, Inhuman Nature. The band's new album, Greater Than Death, will be released on April 25th via Church Road Records. After huge praise received for their self-titled debut LP in 2019, Inhuman Nature returned with their eagerly awaited second album, Greater Than Death. These two albums have been bridged together by shorter, but in no way less potent releases. Their 3-track EP, Under the Boot, in 2022, and their split release with Ninth Realm in 2023 have paved the way for the all-out sonic war they have carefully crafted on the new record. Inhuman Nature are hardened road warriors that have spent the last 6 years sharpening their steel and becoming a formidable live force in the UK and Europe. The band have toured with such diverse and heavy-hitting allies such as Crowbar, Greenlung, Harriet, High Command, Grove Street, Puppy, and more, with festival appearances at Bloodstock, Damnation, and 2000 Trees, among others. Greater Than Death once again harnesses the classic crossover sound of their debut LP, whilst incorporating a melange of extremity with influences from hardcore to crust, death, and doom metal. Live victims will be possessed to headbang or die. The album was recorded at the Station House in Leeds by James Atkinson and mastered by the mighty Brad Boatwright at Audio Siege.
We love you, Brad.
Brad, you're the man. So, Inhuman Nature and their second album, Greater Than Death. I mean, a lot of things are greater than death, Duncan. But is this album?
You think this is a declaration? This is greater than death.
Yeah, I'm going to say highly likely greater than death.
Yeah, the geeky mathematician in me wanted the greater than symbol instead of like, just so people would be like, why is that V upside down and on its side? That A's missing its bridge. You know, like the sort of questions that your average punter would think of. That not this smart fucker, right?
No.
Yeah?
No.
Witty, canny cunt.
No, these
That's what they call me.
Scottish clever cunts. Not at all.
Yeah. Greater Than Death.
Yes, Greater Than Death.
Were these guys on your radar?
I think I'd heard the name, but I don't think I'd actually went in on this band until now. Obviously, really cool they're on Church Road, which we love, obviously. But you know, I mean, I'm always up for a bit of crossover, a bit of thrash, hardcore. Come on, sign me up.
What's that?
So, Duncan, sometimes you just want an album to throw you about like an empty tracksuit, don't you?
Dave,
sometimes
the heart wants what the heart wants, and like we can't justify it. You can't sit. There's a reason that you might be sitting with, I don't know, like a prime cut of beef sitting in the fridge, ready for the sizzle, but you're out at McDonald's. I'm not saying this is a McDonald's album. I'm just saying there's a satisfaction about having something
This is
just
this is greater than McDonald's, Duncan.
Well, greater than McDonald's. I get the feeling they can't use the word McDonald's in the title because they will be sued. Right? Although I would say it is greater than McDonald's because when you finish this after all the headbanging, you're kind of spent. After a McDonald's, weirdly 20 minutes later, you could eat another McDonald's, which I think is the con. It's a con. It's empty calories, Dave. Unlike this album. This album is not empty calories. But what I mean is like for all the technical stuff we listen to, for all the avant-garde shit we put ourselves through, for all the challenging listens where we're like, I think the band may be trying to condense down the thought process of God. You know, like for all those things, occasionally I just want to shove on, hit play, and then just put that. Oh, let's just break a table and then use the leg to fucking wave in the air angrily.
I don't need an album to be always trying to reinvent the genre.
No.
Like thrash has been around for about 40-ish years.
50.
I mean, it's
40. It depends what we're quantifying. We're opening a book here, right? And a debate
go,
online that we don't want to do here. But what we'll say is
go Scottish math,
weird?
Duncan.
Is it Scottish woolly math? But isn't it weird though that at some point someone sat there and said, you know what? Hardcore, thrash, kindred spirits? I think so. Let's put them together, and then we have a legacy of albums that have just combined those elements together. And such a great way that bands like Inhuman Nature, and this is the greatest compliment I can pay these guys, sound like they've been on the go a lot longer since 2019.
For sure.
I mean, this sounds like a good old-fashioned fucking thrash band that is maybe 25, 30 years into their career and still swinging for, like, in the greatest way I can compare that. There's a bit of a Slayer about these guys here. You know what I mean? Where they're just like, this is our sound. Sit down. Deal with it.
I think you're totally right. They do sound older than they are, or longer than they've been on the go. But I think part of that is also created by the production of this album.
100%. Yeah.
Which absolutely fucking slaps. Like, the production on this is amazing. Like, I loved it. I love the fact that these guys are not only like paying their respect to the genre, but also in the production as well. Like, this has got a bit of an 80s kind of rub to it. Like, when I was listening to this, I was like, I mean, it feels like it could almost have been recorded to tape. Like, it has that kind of feel to it, but it's still got like this kind of the power and the heft of something modern as well at the same time.
Drums haven't been fucked with really at all, and I like there are a couple of sections where they move into the bit that will make any drummer like Dave happy, but also the average headbanger happy as well when they switch over to just a classic ride. But this is the ride section, their groove ride section. That ride cymbal comes in, you know for a fact that is like organic ride.
Organic.
Which is how I advertise any sex session with myself. You're getting an organic ride here.
Greater than sex, Duncan.
See, they could have called themselves that, but then people are going to be actively going out their way to try and disprove that. Whereas I imagine Greater Than Death, people are not going to be trying to kill themselves.
I agree. I love the fact this doesn't sound like edited or like quantized or chopped up. Like, it sounds like a band in a room just like ripping out some killer thrash. Like, you can smell the ball sack sweat kind of like dripping from this album, if you know what I mean. Like,
as someone that's practiced in, I was going to say someone that's practiced smelling ball sweat, but that's not. As someone that has played in many dank practice rooms will tell you, like, see the smell of a SM57, that's not your microphone. That's that microphone that's in there. That's kind of the aura of this album. Just that way where you're like that. It was a different time. It was before COVID, where people could just use mics at other. How do they do that now? There's a question I hadn't even thought about.
Got a wee mask on it.
Do they just have like a never-ending supply of disposable microphones? Anyway, there's a smell that comes off a well-used mic.
There is.
Which every sweaty band in the world has used for about a decade before you came in for your practice session and you picked up the wrong mic. That's kind of that's Inhuman Nature encompassed as a smell. If we could bottle that or create a Yankee candle, we'd be rolling in it, Dave.
I think like James Atkinson, Brad Boatwright, like they've killed it on this one. Just a really cool balance of like old school sound meets like new school intensity. Like, I thought the production was just on point. Loved it.
Yep.
Musically, let's go into the music, Duncan. Let's talk about this album.
Riffs for days is what Duncan's saying. I give these riffs a 10.
Yeah, I mean, every track as well. It's like every song, like, and all the kind of the hallmark kind of attributes of thrash and hardcore are just all over this.
They capture what I kind of love about it is like I mentioned Slayer earlier on. There are moments here that are Slayer adjacent. That is a description.
Yeah.
But I could pick out the thrash bands that clearly are their influence, but whereas another band maybe bring in a Slayer riff, and you're like that, or that just sounds like Slayer. None of these riffs sound like the bands they're emulating. It's like their take on it, which I kind of loved. And actually, they weave like a very impressive kind of writing path through all of them. So you get like a good kind of cloister of these different kind of thrash sounding bands of that era, and hardcore as well. But they're enough to evoke a memory without necessarily being like, well, that's a Slayer riff. Oh, that sounds like Anthrax. You know what I mean? It's not like that at all. It's really, really smart how they've done that. There's a wee bit of Exodus in here every now and again that rears its head, and when I was like, oh, fucking yes. And I think that's a gift, like in between the kind of the slower stuff and the breakneck speed thrash stuff that they involve here, whether it's in tracks like Fortress of Delusion, which has that big long build at the beginning. So I think it might be the longest track on here, and they fucking build this thing like they're building a Jenga tower, just get ready to smash it. And it's so meticulously slow until everything kicks off. And when everything kicks off, by God, does it fucking kick off. And there's just all these moments where the band are like, it has to go full pelt, you know, nothing can stop. We have to, like, literally, flames have to be coming off the pick while we're playing it. And then we're going to have this slow groove, we're going to have this hardcore bims, then we're going to have this big, like, traditional thrash build-up track. And they're so carefully placed throughout the album, it's difficult not to, like, get excited when you listen to it. Like I say, the heart wants what the heart wants, and, like, as someone that grew up in his teens trying to capture, like, everything metal, and that meant you were listening to a lot of stuff that was in the 90s, but you were, like, doing a lot of stuff in the 80s, and you were trying to find, like, the fact that bands, like, are now still kind of going, yeah, there's a time and a place for this to bring it in is kind of cool. And then you've obviously touched on the production. I don't want to steal too much of your thunder here, but I fucking adore the vocals on this, man. It reminds me a little bit of, and you get a kick of, there's a wee bit of Hate Sphere in here, which I kind of love. It's like they have those elements of the kind of gang vocals, which kind of suit the hardcore element, but there's almost a kind of a Scandi rasp and the delivery of this, so it's kind of almost kind of, it's two steps away from being kind of in the vein of like melodic death metal, and its register, and there's plenty, you know, like kind of just that, like instead of kind of going to Tom Araya or like to fucking Tom Araya, like there's something a little bit more deathy about the vocals, where everything else goes on, and that kind of just, once again, adds. If you think of thrash, hardcore, the 90s, that thrash starts switching into death metal. It all goes together, Dave. What I'm realising is Paul Kearney might be right. There may be only 4 genres of metal.
Don't admit to that.
There might only be 4 genres of metal. At this rate, I'd like that. The older I'm getting, the more I'm starting to see there may only be 4. Now we will delete this from the recording, so you will never hear that again. But you see what I mean? Like vocally, like, you could put innumerable amount of vocalists in here that are far more traditional, much more kind of hardcore styled. Even to an extent of like a higher register, but the fact of like vocally here, it's more kind of 90s death metal, I think just is like the fucking cherry on top of the sundae, man. It's just, it fits perfect.
Yeah, I totally agree. Although this is like musically heavy on the thrash and the hardcore, I definitely got some of that kind of death metal coming across in the vocals from Chris Barling. I actually was picking up a little bit of a kind of John Tardy of Obituary in some of his kind of style. And I was like, this is really cool. I'm really loving this kind of additional kind of element they've added in, the little tinge of death metal in there. And then I was on what's that metal website, the kind of encyclopedia thing, can't remember what it's called, but I was on there and I was looking at the kind of band, the lineup, and I was like, oh, there's been in other bands, and it was then that I was like, wait a minute, the vocalist and the drummer Simon, they were in another band called Hang the Bastard.
Oh, how have we only finding out about this now.
I know.
Hang the bastard.
Like, was it Sex in the Seventh Circle? I want to say that the last album was called. Love that album. Like, absolutely incredible album. I don't know if I would have guessed it was the same vocalist.
No. He's reaching a different register here.
100%. Like the Hang the Bastard stuff was more like kind of sludge doom kind of style, where he really leaned into a really kind of raspy, filthy kind of tone. But here you can hear him giving so much more variety and tone and pitch and intensity. It's really impressive. Like the guy's clearly got plenty of gears that he can switch between. But also, like, shout out to Simon on drums. This guy is like an absolute animal behind the kit. He plays out of his skin for 35 minutes here, and it's just constant. Like, it's flipping from that kind of rapid thrash into kind of up tempo hardcore. But like you say, he knows how to work a ride cymbal like a motherfucker.
Like those sections, and that's the key, right? Like I once heard an analogy that like fiddle music to white people, right, will instantly make your knee go when even if you're like, I fucking hate this folk pish. When you hear your knee fucking starts going, right.
Yeah.
The universal language of headbanging for metal fans is a ride groove, right? Like when it kicks in, your face will do this, and you will headbang like this, and it's not even like full headbang. It's like it's not headbang. It's like that. You can't help it. You will try. You can try and restrain your head. You can have someone put their hand on your forehead and stop you, but I guarantee, ride cymbal groove kicks in, you will do this.
Yeah, the
universal language of love, man.
There's a groove on, I think it's Possessed to Die.
Oh,
fucking unreal! Like, it is very like Slayer-tastic, but I grinned so hard during that track. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, like there's a reason Dave Lombardo has so many of them in every band he's ever played in, and that's the reason why.
Yeah,
I've cracked the code.
Yeah.
Greater than Ride. There we go.
I mean, I feel like this kind of excites me more than a lot of the kind of 80s to 90s thrash bands that these guys are influenced by. They know exactly what makes a great thrash track. They've nailed it in terms of the kind of build up, the groove, the kind of stops and starts. There's like gang vocals, or just that moment of when to drop into that kind of halftime kind of gut punch groove, or just thrown in that like ripper of a solo as well. It's all really like perfectly timed. Not one track overstays or like drags out for no reason. It's just as tight, it's concise. And like even when they do push the pace, like on like Fortress of Delusion, that track's got it reminded me a little bit of like very early Metallica. There was a little bit of that kind of going on there, but they place it in a perfect spot, like in the middle of the album. It's got a little bit more kind of breathing room, and they just let it slowly build up into that like frenzy, and then bring it down kind of slowly towards the end. Loved that. But there's also a little bit of kind of, it sounded like kind of retro kind of synths happening on this as well, which is kind of like tying pieces together, and it blends into the following track actually, Lines in the Sand 2, which I thought was really cool. Just a little bit, they don't overdo it, but just little things just to kind of blend and kind of transition things in the background. I pretty much smiled like the whole way through.
It's impossible. I challenge anyone not to smile during this.
Very.
Like even the artwork is like reminiscent of like a fucking late 70s, early 80s B movie.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure I've seen this movie. You know what I mean? Like it just all ties together. They're hitting all the sweet spots. I think you're right as well. The fact that, and my job here is dream booker of future gigs. Like, see when Spirit World come over, like Inhuman Nature need to be on that bill. You know what I mean? Because I was thinking those are like, as we like they're kind of doing the same thing, but it's like Inhuman Nature have a very British take on that sound, and I think it comes through in that production.
Yeah. Whereas
Spirit World has a much more polished, modern kind of take on it, and it works well in both kind of facets.
Yeah.
I think there's a match there to be made, but I genuinely, if you are worth your fucking salt as a metal fan, I challenge you not to enjoy listening to this. It really is, like, in some respects, it's going to excite a lot of older fans that like are looking for that. Music isn't like it used to be 30 years ago, sort of thing. You're going to have that crowd there as well. But I also think that the fact that they incorporate so many of those elements in cohesively into their sound, which you can only do with like 20 years, 30 years past, where you can actually join these things up. Like, some of what they're doing came decades after what they're playing, so the fact that they've managed to weave that through the production as well, and in the delivery here, and like you said before, this is it's like 35-minute album. There's literally no fat in this to chop out. Like, this is like out with the kind of linking devices that they use, whether it's the intro track, which, by the way, generally I would hate if they hadn't used elements later on to link all the way through, which once again shows vision, makes me fucking happy. Like, the flow of this album is pretty relentless from start to finish, and it kind of feels like it's the metal gig you want to go to.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's the gig that you want to go to has like it's breakneck speed, it's heavy, it's heavy, does like gives you all the things you want, has all the gimmicks where you like listening to it, I know where the fans are going to be going, like raising their fists, I know the bit everyone's going to be headbanging, we're all going to be doing it in unison. It's like they've captured that on the recording, and it's fucking brilliant. Yeah,
I totally agree. I feel like a lot of throwback albums like this, my like general conclusion is, it's cool, but I think this would be much better to see live, and feel that energy.
100%,
and I do think these guys would be killer live, like, no doubt, but I feel like this album manages to deliver that same energy and power that you would get from a live show, which is exactly what you want from.
It's like, it's like Heavy Volume 1, the Stuck Mojo live album. One of my favourite live albums ever, because you listen to it and you can be anywhere. You could be on a plane listening to it, and if you close your eyes, you're in the middle of a venue headbanging to Stuck Mojo. It's kind of like that, captures all that live energy, which a band like this, I mean, if that's not what they're going in for when they write an album like this, I don't know what they're doing. They've managed to capture it here. I was going to say a great little find, but they're on a bloody brilliant record label, so they would have been on our radar anyway. Greater than radar is Inhuman Nature. I mean, let's get to the scores. I don't think we need not stroke this band off any longer. Let's give them the finger in the rectum and get over with.
Okay. So what you scoring it? What you thinking?
Oh, this is a 4.5 for me. I absolutely loved it. Like, I mean, why is it not a 5 if he says he loves it? And I think it's very seldom. What?
I was going to say, no, I'm not going to say it. It's okay.
You are aware that people are all got that. Go on.
You were going to say, why is it not a 5? And say, well, it's not greater than a 4.5.
Greater than a 4.5. Greater than a 4, that's what I'm going to say. It's a 4.5. That's the name of the album. Like, this genre, I love it to bits and all the rest. Seldom, I don't think there's any, I don't think I have, a masterpiece thrash album. I love them all, kind of. There's some that are lesser quality, but I don't have any of the... I listen to this, I think they managed to weave and capture so much of what I love in music. It's a total just vibe, smile, headbang. It's the very definition. You look up heavy metal in the dictionary, Inhuman Nature's smiley faces. That's kind of what it feels like. It's a definitive kind of. So you try and describe heavy metal to someone. This is kind of what. I think you're trying to articulate. Also, think people that don't know what heavy metal is, this is kind of what they think it is as well. So this is a meeting of the both worlds. I mean, there's no knocking it down a 0.5 for anything. I just 4.5 is the vibe. It's where I'm coming in. I would love to drink beers with these guys and maybe smash a fake bottle over someone's head. Could be a real bottle if that gets us in the room with them. I will do that. What are you coming in?
I think I went back and I listened to the debut. I hadn't heard that album, and you can just hear with this release they've gotten tighter, they've gotten more focused, and better songwriters on this release. There's, as you said, there's even less kind of fat on this than there was on the debut. It's 37 minutes or something like that, and it's
not long.
Well worth your time. Absolutely worth your time. I'm going to go 4.5 as well. I had a lot of fun with this. Really enjoyed it. Like, if you're going to do like thrash and crossover, then this is exactly how it should be done.
Yeah.
Funny you should say you would like to drink beers with these guys, don't
So, see if you tell me there's a VIP package on their upcoming tour where you get to drink beers with them. I'm going to say, one, that sounds expensive, but two, I might do it. So.
The greater than VIP package is available now.
Greater than beer.
They are heading to where is Glasgow? They're playing in. They're doing a headline.
Where is Glasgow? All of the place we're always at.
They're doing a headline tour in May. Starts on the 2nd of May in London, and then right through to near the end of the May. They're in Glasgow on the 23rd of May in the Glasgow Garage Attic.
I am in Scotland when that happens.
Oh, are you?
Had it been the beginning of May, I wouldn't have been. So, in the middle of May, I wouldn't be able to go. But end of May, I can totally do that.
Supported by another Church Road band called Grief Ritual, Duncan. Yep.
Do we send a message to the Attic and tell them that they need to get like steel beams in underneath to support that? That's not a stable floor. That venue's coming down.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the Grief Ritual album as well.
It's fucking great.
So those two bands together would be... That'd be a good night, Duncan. That'd be a good night. Inhuman Nature and their new album Greater Than Death out on Church Road Records on the 25th of April. Links below to the band, the Bandcamp. I'll put a single in there. Check out, have a listen, see what you think. You can't go wrong with this. You honestly can't.
Oh, no, definitely not.
That is a review. Thank you for checking it out. Much appreciated. We'll be back with another review very soon. But until then, take care. Speak to you soon.
Bye, everyone.